Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video. Playing a version of Doomsday that is pretty fast, so in the veins of the turbo lists you may have seen going around. 4 petals, 5 cyclers. I've cut 1 cycler down, 1 edge of autumn, in lieu of consider number 2. That was on the recommendation of fellow Doomsday player Max Stortion, and I think it's been pretty smooth. I really like it. So you'll see that we have 1 volcanic as a splash color dual in the main deck, but the main deck is entirely blue-black, and we have that because we want to cast one of these 3 blast effects in the sideboard. And then we also have a 4th color. We actually have 4 cards in that color, which is white, but I've decided to stick the Tundra in the sideboard. It was either between Volcanic and Tundra, and someone suggested that why don't you put the one that you are more likely to use post-board in the sideboard, so that when you're resolving Doomsday in game 1 and people see there's a Volcanic, they won't expect white cards, which I kind of liked. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to dabble too much on this. If you have any questions about the deck list, feel free to hit me up in the comment section. So let's go play a league. Alright, on the draw for round number 1. I mean, this is obviously the, I think, definition of cantrip heavy, but I'm gonna keep this opponent mulligans to 6. So if one of these cantrips were a Force of Will, I would feel a lot more comfortable, you know, in the face of maybe something like a turn 1 deck. But okay, turn 1 Savannah, hopefully not too scary. Chalice of the Void here would be backbreaking, as would like Thalia, but looks like they're going for a Reclaimer. Yeah. Okay. Another Daze, not exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna play out the Underground Sea. It plays it's a lot more vulnerable to like something like a Wasteland, but I think this is fine. I also think like the reason to play it out is to, like, Volcanic means we're like 3 additional land drops away from like hard casting Doomsday. Okay, so there's a Daze as the next card, which I don't think we particularly want. I think I'd rather Ponder now, risk them sort of spending a turn wastelanding us, I guess, rather than going for something else with the Reclaimer. And but I mean, they might not get Wasteland, but okay, Flagstones, sure. Not sure what their plan is, if it's to grow the, well, it's already grown, I guess. So I'm not sure what the plan behind the Flagstones is, but there probably is one. Alright, let's dig for the Doomsday here. If it's there, we get to win, unless they get like a unless they have like exactly endurance. But in a way, I don't actually mind these cards. So I think I'm just gonna pass here, see what they do. You'd have to expect for them to be going for like Merit Lodge, seeing as they didn't get like a Wasteland last turn. But yeah, then again, that's kind of why I don't completely see the Flagstones play, but I could just be missing something. Okay, so looks like they are going for like a wasteland plan. Sure. And they're going to be bringing the beats. So I'm going to cycle this to draw the fetch land. And then I'm going to, once again, go digging for a Doomsday with this Ponder. Don't find it. I think I am actually, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I think that was a pun. I was gonna probably be better off saving the Brainstorm. So I am gonna do that. So they have like crop rotation here. Oh, is this endurance? I think I'm actually going to daze that while the dazing's good. Just because that effectively is a 2-turn clock. Because we can't go to 1 ever on this side of Doomsday. I wonder if that means they have a second one. Does mean I'm kind of glad I didn't just like YOLO into the into the endurance. Okay, well, there is a personal tutor, so let's try and grab a Doomsday. And there was a world where we do it now, but I think like probably we're supposed to wait. So like waiting a turn. Yeah, I think I am gonna wait. Like them getting another wasteland here, not with the reclaimer, but then just like having drawn it would be kind of annoying. And so like next turn we're playing to either ignore endurance, which lets us just win on the spot. Well, I think we have to win on the spot anyways, but win without having to factor for endurance. Or we can try and see if we can make a pile that plays around endurance. But it kind of depends on what they do right now. But if we were to like go Doomsday, we would have 2 mana. And then we can use 1 to cast Brainstorm. And then maybe go like, yeah, how would that work? Like Cycler, Thoughtseize, and then Ideas Unbound? Not sure we have enough life to play with. Let's see, we'll be at 7. So we'll be at 3 post Doomsday. So we could Thoughtseize to take the endurance, but then we can't like Street Wraith or like deep analysis. You know what we should have done? We should have sacked the petal beforehand because that plays better around endurance. Let's see. So we could go for like we cast Brainstorm, we draw like Misty Rainforest, Force of Will, Thassa. No, that doesn't do it right. Like Misty Rainforest. So like Brainstorm draws us one, Misty draws us one. That's three. Still three cards in the deck, so that's no good. How about that other play I was thinking about? So we brainstorm, we draw Thoughtseize. Let's put the Oracle in there just to, sure. So we draw Thoughtseize and Ideas Unbound and Edge of Autumn. And so we cast Brainstorm, put back Ideas Unbound and Deep Analysis. And below are a Petal and the Thassa. And so we cast Brainstorm, drawing Edge, Thoughtseize, Ideas, put back Deep Analysis, Ideas, cast Thoughtseize for the last mana we have. Then where does it leave us in terms of cards? I think that means they get to get us with the Endurance, because we will have the Doomsday, the Brainstorm, and the Lotus Petal in the graveyard, which is annoying. But I'm not sure I can. So this way they lose if they have Endurance and don't see the correct time to play it. And we would have not been in this situation if we had sacked the Petal beforehand. But okay, I think I'm going to try this and just hope they don't have the second Endurance or that they misplay it. So we need the pile to be like this with these three cards on top. So put back Deep Anal and Ideas Unbound. Deep Anal, Ideas Unbound. I guess you could argue that. Oh, they have it. So does dazing something here do anything about this? I don't think so, right? It gives us an extra mana to play with, but puts another card in the yard to get Endurance back. So Deep Analysis, actually maybe it does. We're going to be drawing Deep Analysis, right? I'm beyond sort of trying to get the math to work here. So they did have the second Endurance. Let's doesn't matter which one we take. So let's see, we have 4 mana here. The problem is we can't flashback Deep Analysis because it domes us for 3. So we would have to hard cast it. Yeah, nope, doesn't work. Let's illustrate why it won't work. Because now we get stuck. Yeah, we're just out. So we couldn't beat the double Endurance. I wonder if there was a line I just didn't see that would have gotten us there. I get the feeling that there probably was, but yeah, if you can think of one, then please let me know. So in terms of like sideboarding for this matchup, I kind of don't hate Teferi. It is a little bit suspect with only one white source. I don't hate like the one Monastery Mentor to just be able to pivot into something completely different. And I don't hate just cutting the 3 discard spells because generally they're not very good against what our opponent is doing. So let's try this. All right, let's choose to be on the play. Oh, this feels like... No, I think we go for this. I think we go Tarn Petal to play around Deafening Silence. And then we bank on being able to sort of, get there without, like... They are Mox Diamond deck, so they could play something like a Thassa or... not Thassa. Thalia Guardian of Thraben on, like, turn 1. I would not imagine that they have a turn 1 sort of play that removes Lotus Petal to punish us here. So, but we'll have to wait and see. They could have Collector Roof with the Mox Diamond on turn 1, but okay, someone's Safekeeper. Not that scary. Okay, and here we just jam. So there's a lot that we could be doing here. I don't think Teferi is going to work for us because they have a Sylvan Safekeeper, so I guess Teferi still is nice in that it stops endurance. But if they have like more power to put on to the board next turn, then Teferi is like getting one-shotted. And we're not, I don't think at least, we're not able to win the same turn we go like Tundra Teferi. So what we could aim to do here is to like just cast Ideas Unbound, draw like Thassa, a Pact, a Petal, and a Cycler. So we get to Pact their endurance. But this means a couple of things have to not happen. One is we really don't want them to what do you call it? To like play to wasteland us. And the second one is we really don't want them to cast like Deafening Silence, and the third thing is we don't want them to cast Collector Roof. So alternatively, but I mean this beats endurance. If we don't care about beating endurance, it's pretty simple. We can just like put some cyclers and Thassa. There's also the world where we yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. So let's say they wasteland us here. We can still cast Ideas Unbound and then just leave one card in our deck. And then we can easily discard like Personal Tutor, Doomsday, and Ponder. So I think actually I don't hate this pile. I think this pile is pretty decent. So let's put Petal on the bottom. Actually, no, let's put Pact on the bottom. Just because we aren't going to be casting Pact until the very last turn. And there's a world where we want to be able to to be able to like just cast Thassa's Oracle without being able to get to the bottom of the deck. So actually, you know what? Choke here would be kind of backbreaking, but they would need like Mox Diamond for that. Okay, Deafening Silence is also not very nice. So, Deafening Silence. So I'm gonna. Oops. I cast the Ideas Unbound. I'm not gonna play out the Tundra. That means that they have a bigger like incentive to try and get us with like a wasteland. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna discard Personal Tutor, Doomsday, and a Petal. I guess the Petal I should have discarded Ponder. That was a bit of a punt because like Ponder is not going to do anything in our hand, and Petal at least lets us cast something. So we survive. We survive one endurance because we pack them. We don't survive double endurance. Okay, so they didn't have anything. All right. I don't think I want to change anything. You could actually maybe we can bring in like a couple of Forces of Negation instead of Daze because of exactly Deafening Silence on the play from them. It's pretty scary. It's a pretty good play for them. All right, let's see how game 3 pans out. So I wonder what they kept. Maybe I didn't see. Yeah, when was that? When did that Caracas come down? So maybe they kept the hand off of like Caracas Mindbreak. Oh, not like Deafening Silence Mindbreak Trap or something, and they just needed a white mana that they didn't have. All right, we're gonna mulligan this hand because it's pretty terrible, and we're gonna keep this hand even though it's not amazing. And what do we bottom here? I suppose like Cavern of Souls. The only reason to keep Cavern of Souls, or rather, sorry, to bottom Cavern of Souls and keep an extra Doomsday is if we think they could be playing black. And I think they are, right? I think we saw like a scrub land in game 1 or game 2. So let's like this. And this hand is actually somewhat resilient to a turn 1 Deafening Silence because it still goes for a turn 2 Doomsday. What I really don't want to see is like Thalia or Seer Resistance. Yeah. I think this is fine. Again, gonna go like this. If they have like Collector Roof turn 2, it's a little bit annoying. But not the end of the world, I don't think. So no Green Sun Zenith for Collector Roof, at least. So I would absolutely love to draw either Pact of Negation or a Cycler here. Teferi also not terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go play Doomsday. Hope they don't have some weird way to interact with this on the stack. I wouldn't imagine so, but you never know. Alright, so they could have a wasteland. I think we want the Tundra to fetch 4. And we obviously want Thassa. Maybe we want a Pact. and some cyclers. How does this look? So what happens if we jam Teferi? If they don't wasteland us, we play Teferi and we bounce Deafening Silence. It doesn't really like get us any, like, we can't win on the same turn, but that just means that we get to like means we get to untap and then just win. We wouldn't need the Pact. Let's say we jam Teferi, they answer Teferi, we then draw. Yeah, I think I like that. This loses to like triple Wasteland, but I mean, so be it. Let's put Tundra on the bottom, then Thassa, or rather, Pact, then Thassa, and then the Cyclers. And let's go like this. Oh, yeah, that's not what I want to see. Okay, so the Teferi plan is out the window. But if they double Wasteland us here and don't play a threat, then we have time to just, oh, what's this, choke? Green Sun Zenith for 2. Interesting. So I would suppose this is a Collector Roof. Huh. This is like a lot. If this is Collector Roof, then it's really quite good for us. They haven't made a land drop though. Gadok Teague. Okay. So is there no Gadok Teague doesn't stop them from casting Endurance. But I think so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cycle oh wait. Or did I just screw myself over here? So we fetch the Tundra. We cast a Teferi. We bounce Teague, draw a card. So once we fetch Tundra, there's 2 cards. There are 2 cards in the library. Teferi draws us 1. There's 1. We pass the turn. Yeah, okay, so we should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. We bounce Teague because if we don't bounce Teague, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Deafening Silence is not going to be a thing. It's not going to matter. We just have to remember not to cycle the Edge of Autumn now. So unless they choke us here, we win. If they choke us, it's game over for our hero. So I suppose, let's say we +1'd Teferi, would have been at 5 counters. Teague knocks him down at 3. They played choke. We can bounce choke. So I think we potentially like made a pretty costly miscalculation and played like into choke. But I think like if they had choke last turn, they played choke. They had 3 mana. Unless of course they were like playing around Force of Will to play out Teague first. And maybe like right now I'm betting they're looking through our exile zone to see if there are 4 Force of Wills and how many Forces of Negation. They are making some kind of play. Okay, no, it's just Teague. Thank goodness. Teague Wastelanders, I guess. You don't see a lot of Gaddock Teague anymore. And probably... Okay, so they're evoking him. They're going to put cards on the bottom of our deck. But that means our library will be 4 cards deep. Or 4 cards big. We draw one of them, which is going to be Thassa's Oracle. And because of Teferi, we have enough devotion. And even then, we could just cycle Edge to get 1 card deeper. Okay, they can wasteland us. Yep. And we win. Sweet. Got there. All right, off to a good start. Be right back for round number 2. All right, on the play for round number 2. They show us Yorion, so most likely it is Death and Taxes, or I like Espervile. I'm going to keep. They mulling to 6. I think I'm going to lead with Volcanic because it gives us the best turn to Brainstorm. And it gives us the opportunity to Brainstorm turn 1 and still be able to get, like, not get Brainstorm locked, which I guess we probably won't need. But I also don't mind that much if they spend a turn wastelanding us, because we have the Dark Ritual. So, if you're the opponent and you see Volcanic Island go, oh, snow-covered island. So maybe it's like Aluren. Put away Cavern of Souls and probably Deep Analysis. And here is where, like, Personal Tutor being sorcerer speed against the blue deck is kind of bad. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pass here. We also get to keep playing like we're Sneak and Show or Elf Stricture, or like what you call it, like some sort of Ragavan deck, I guess. I think I'm gonna. Oh no. Well, I am gonna fetch, but I'm not gonna Brainstorm yet. Might as well. Like, there's the Force of Will, so that's good. So let's cast Personal Tutor. Let's get Doomsday. Let's cycle Street Wraith. And we could argue that to keep the fetch land uncracked to make a pile. So, do you have it? You do. Do you have it twice? Don't. Okay. So, So if we make an Ideas Unbound pile and they slam Leovold, it's so bad for us. That's not even something that's, pleasant to contemplate. We could make just a bunch of cyclers and then Thassa. What did they exile? They exiled Uro. Is there a way we're beating Leovold next turn anyways? Probably not. I suppose if we were to go like Edge of Autumn, fetch land, Thassa, then that beats Leovold with, like, if they don't have removal. All right, well, we want to get the Thassa. let's get. I mean, because the other card we could be playing around is Endurance. And then finally more counter spells, but I don't like they don't have another force effect now anyways. They could draw it, but out of 71 cards, it's not that likely. So how about if we go like this? And I suppose like would be kind of lame-o to lose to removal spell. Does Consider do anything there? I mean, let's say they where's Consider? Let's say they don't really draw anything, or like they whatever, they tap and play like an Uru or something. So we draw edge into Consider, consider away the Flooded Strand. I suppose then we need to Consider to be the top deck in order to beat the Leovold plan. Yeah, let's just, I think this is fine. So C on the bottom, then Thassa, then Strand, edge, Consider. Strand, edge, Consider. Okay, so now this doesn't win us the game next turn. So that kind of feels kind of bad. Okay. What's this? Basic land card tapped. All right, so we can't get to Thassa this turn. So losing, we are going to be losing to like a Force of Will #2 here, or like Drown on the Lock or something. We still don't know what they're playing. I'm kind of guessing, yeah, that they're on Bug. So we'd also lose. No, we wouldn't. Would we? We would also, yeah, we would lose right now to like Aluren. I was just wondering if we could like cast Consider. So there's Leovold. Okay. I think I am just going to actually, no, let's not put it in. Yep, Leovold's in. No! Oh, what a punt. Because this looks at the entire turn, right? So, oh, that was so stupid. I was just thinking I could just edge after Leovold's in play. But no, I've already cast a card. So we draw the now useless. Yeah, we've just lost. That's too bad. Yeah, because we'll die to combat next turn. Wow, talk about a punt. Let's see what they have. Right, okay. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not wrong about this, but pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so down a game to a misplay. Well, I say that we don't know if they're sitting on like endurance plus green card, but okay. So I think I do kind of like both the red and at least some of the white cards here. Probably a second Thassa is not the worst against like an endurance deck. So I don't think I want to be like on the LED plan. Bring out some number of personal tutors. Probably cut an Underground Sea because we're bringing in a land. Maybe I'll cut a couple of wraiths. But I've not had, like, historically, I have not had the best of times playing against, like, Aluren. Just because they're bug colors, so they have Leovold, but they're also white, so they have, like, Meddling Mage or Deafening Silence. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is an acceptable keep. So they keep 7. I think I'm gonna Thoughtseize turn 1 here, because I do kind of don't want to get like deafening silenced. Okay, so they have double Leovold and Baleful Strix. Wow. Guess they don't have enough stuff to bring in. So the Leovold is happening 3 turns from now. I think maybe if I take the Abundant Growth... No, this is cantrips. I was thinking about Abundant Harvest. But they can still fetch all their colors. They can like fetch a forest here and then fetch like Bayou. I mean plains and then fetch Bayou or whatever. Yeah, I mean, let's take one of the Leovolds. Maybe it becomes relevant if we get to like a Daze or something. Here's the Misty. Abundant Growth, sure. Monastery Mentor is not bad here. Although, like, that Baleful Strix is kind of annoying. I think I'm going to ponder over Brainstorm here because I kind of like all the cards in my hand except for the... I was going to say except for the Street Wraith. Okay. That's potentially pretty strong. What we're going to have going on here. Okay, so they drew Brainstorm. So if you're them and you get the Force of Will here, do you Force of Will a Monastery Mentor? Okay, so I'm going to cycle Wraith to have second Petal because Petals are just so very nice with the Mentor. I wonder if I'm supposed to get like bulk, but I think I'm going to get second Underground Sea here. Okay, so like this. Then I think I'm going to not play another spell right now. And then I'm going to Brainstorm off of Petal with their Leovold on the stack. I'm assuming they're going to be casting Leovold. And then, if we hit like Daze, it's just a complete blowout. And if not, then, the Brainstorm is not going to rot in our hand. I suppose they could be playing something other than Leovold here. Or maybe they were wondering if they should keep the top card. Yeah, probably. Okay, so we're in Leovold mana territory. All right. What's this? Surgical Extraction on Ponder. Okay. So I think I'm Brainstorm here, to be honest. This like opens us up to like I guess Hull Breacher, but can play around everything, and this gives us the free shuffle. So yeah, let's put back Thassa and Misty Rainforest, and then they get to Surgical the Ponder. It sucks to show them like they get to see our library, so they get to know that the entire Doomsday package is still in. So like if I were them and I hadn't surgicaled, I might be thinking now if, maybe our opponent pivoted out just completely out of Doomsday, but that jig is up. All right, so they are playing their own Teferi. Okay, interesting. So you do bounce Mentor here? I mean, seems like. Wait, didn't we just shovel you away, Misty Rainforest? Oh, okay. So I think I'm going to play Mentor again. I mean, if they want to force it, that's fine, because we have a second one and, whatever. So I'm going to send one in for Teferi and the other to attack them. Unless I'm just attacking them. Nah. I mean, we're not beating Aluren either way. And I don't think the extra 2 life points are going to end up mattering, but who knows. Abundant growth, sure. I mean, next turn we get to attack for 9. And that's not counting if Teferi will draw us anything. Okay, so there's Leovold. So I am going to cast Teferi here. Teferi's in. I think I'll just plus him. I'm going to swing for 9. They will likely eat a monk. If they trade with Mentor, I think that's honestly pretty amazing. Okay, they choose not to. So they're at 7. And we could have bounced Leovold gotten in for 2 more points of damage. But I didn't want to give them like Aluren. Like have them dig another card in. And I think I'm not sure actually. When you bounce someone here, yeah, then no, of course we would target Leovold, so they would get to draw a card. But I'm not sure if I would actually get to draw a card. Like Leovold's effect surely wouldn't be in play once the ability resolves, but I'm not sure. So they have another Teferi, okay. Interesting. And they have not used him yet, so they want a clean card here, and they're going to bounce Mentor, I guess. Oh, okay, they just want to kill a token. That's fair. Ugh, brutal. Alright, well, we're going to find out right now if we get to draw a card off of... And we did. So we just get to win, I guess. Oh no, we don't, because we can't cast Daze. was gonna play my Mentor and then cast Daze, but we can't because of their Teferi. So I'm gonna play out the second Mentor. Okay, they can see. Yeah, I think we would have had them on like either 3 or whatever life, but I guess they were also just like they saw us like paying costs for something, so they might have thought we had a spell to trigger the monks and conceded prematurely. I'm not sure. Okay, well, so do things change here? Teferi is pretty gnarly, but we have the 3 blasts and our own Teferi and our mentors. Like I'm hesitant about the Duress because I'm worried about like Veil of Summer. Like, but having said that, they are an 80 card deck, so they probably don't have like 4 Veil, and I think like Daze obviously is a little bit worse on the draw, right? And yeah, this hand is pretty slow and cumbersome, but it does have like I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna mulligan this hand and get like 7 cards with no lands. I'm gonna keep. It's pretty slow. It wants to go for like a turn 3 play. Yeah, I think it's a trap forcing this. I was just thinking, maybe if they don't if they're screwed on mana, it's worth it. But yeah, I don't know. We get to both mentors just like before. So what's this? Belfast, sure. I mean, I don't hate just going for a mentor here because we don't know that we're going to draw a land next turn, so we might just end up doing it next turn for no payoff, like for no additional payoff. So they need exactly Force of Will to stop this. Force of Negation, not going to do it. And if they have Force, I think I'm going to force back, but I'm not going to like it because having that Force of Will in hand is what makes this play sort of interesting, because then we can force something next turn and get the monk trigger. And like if they have removal spell here, it's pretty terrible. So we really have to hope to like hit a 3rd land next turn, or have Mentor survive and like draw a cantrip. What was exiled? Ice Fang Quaddle. Okay. So I mean, I've been talking about Aluren. We've still yet to see it. I kind of expect it to be Aluren, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This the old. Oh, therapy. Okay. Hopefully they whiff here. Brainstorm, sure. So if your plan is to flashback this therapy, what card are you taking? Probably Teferi, right? Like Teferi's the card that if I top deck a land, that's going to do the most damage to you, I think. But then again, I'm not sure if you're even sacking this. Oh, okay. We sadly don't have like the basic lands to get here. So now, while they get to make a sweet three drop next turn, we get to do nothing. So at least it's not Teferi that's coming down. It might be it's quote unquote only Leovold. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Right, okay. So now we really need lands. Not Daze. Tell you what, let's get the pseudo scry on, and yeah, I think I do want the land. We can trade Thassa for, not trade, but we can like chump Thassa. So I think best case scenario for us right now is that they spend a turn taking Urion into their hand. Wow, another veteran explorer. Brutal. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of brutal. No, we do want that land. So I was going to say I would kind of hope for them to, but that was before they got more lands. Take Urion into their hand, and then next turn we could like daze it. We can still do that and get a couple of triggers, but they will get their big bird. I think at this point we are probably not going to be casting Doomsday anytime soon, and I think like being able to actually cast a red elemental blast is going to be worth it. Okay, so they're just attacking for one. Is that it? They're not casting Big Bird? Oh, no, of course. They just wanted to get in the damage. That makes sense. So I think it's worth, like, going down a card in hand just to get two monks. Right. Boo. Getting dunked on by Urion here. Yeah, I think that's probably all she wrote. They get Caracas here. That's pretty sweet synergy. So maybe it's not even Aluren. Maybe it's just like a bug Urion good stuff deck. I haven't seen like they maybe the veteran explorer I saw in game one should have put me onto that. So it's just like Nick Fit. I'm losing to Nick Fit. Whamp whamp. So you swing in with your flyers, and I drop to 10. And what do we want to draw here? Like Teferi would be good. I mean, Ponder is card disadvantage, but it then not really because we get monks from the deal. And I mean, what else are we doing with this ponder? So the Pyroblast we probably want, right? The other two cards though, not so much. So is there any way it makes sense for us to get in now? If they know what they're doing, they won't just like alpha swing next turn, they'll just swing with the same two creatures. In that case, it's bye bio, I think. Or I guess no, we could pyroblast the Yorion. Though it would have to be said, it seems pretty unlikely that they aren't going to be sitting on a pitch counter at this point. They could also have like an endurance to mop up stuff. So they can block two mentors and one monk token. So I mean, we're nowhere near lethal, anyways. Let's swing with everything except the Thassa. Okay, so let's see if we get to nuke Yorion. Would imagine that we don't, but we shall see. Yep, so that's all she wrote. All right, round number 3 on the play. Turn 1 Doomsday with Daze backup. I am not going to say no to that. I don't think so, at least. Thing about this kind of hand is you don't really know, you're not winning on the same turn, and so it's hard to know what to build your pile to be able to beat. So I think actually I don't hate not going for a turn 1, but playing out the Flooded Strand and hoping that our opponent does something on turn 1 that we don't care enough about to, well, that we don't lose to, that we don't care enough about to daze, but we can daze, and then they tap out. Okay, so it's like a lands deck or a loam deck. I would kind of be sad if they play like a Thalia or something. Okay, so they don't. So I think I am just going to go for like Dark Ritual and Doomsday here. Just thinking if I should be fetching first. No, probably it's fine not to fetch. So they are taking their sweet time thinking about things. So we could just go for the win here, but that doesn't play around endurance. And seeing as we're not under a ton of pressure, I think I like going for a slower pile. So let's put Force of Will in there so that we can get to Force of Will by cycling the Street Wraith. Let's put a Thassa there. Let's put a land to fetch. And I suppose another land wouldn't be the worst. And then like another cycler. So what we Street Wraith into Force of Will. So we can force something. Then we draw edge. We edge into Thassa. Cast Ponder. So, like, what would we be looking to force next, like on their next turn? Probably nothing, right? So what if we put, so we put edge on top so that we can cycle into edge and edge if they wasteland us. Drawing force, then untapping, drawing Thassa. Like, none of this is too amazing. Do we need the second land? Yeah, we do. We do need the second land. So if they wasteland us, we don't get to win next turn. Because like they wasteland us, we cycle Street Wraith, cycle edge, draw force, untap, draw Thassa. Then we still need to actually draw the last land. But then again, that's not the worst. Or do we just go for it right now? Oh, too many decisions. Because no, okay, so they don't have Thalia, or they would have played Thalia. So I think this is probably fine. If they have Wasteland, we wait an extra turn. If not, we get to win. And we also get to not like just insta lose to something if they make a play that we have to force. Daze is also a possibility for us. But Daze also means that we don't get to win next turn. So yeah, I don't know, whatever. Opponent probably looking through our exile zone. Okay, so they're gonna crop rotate here, I guess. And we'll most likely go for a wasteland. So we could Daze here to try and get value. Does it matter though? So right now, I think I am gonna Daze before the trigger resolves. Wonder why they didn't tap this for white mana. Okay, so Flagstones gives them a land. Is it a plains? Yeah, so it's a plains. So they could play like what you call it? There's a reclaimer. I was gonna say they could play like a knight. So I think I am just gonna go for the win here. Seeing as we have the force of will to to force an endurance. So cycle Street Wraith into Thassa. And pretty sure they have endurance because they've been like pausing on each of these steps. So we shall see. I've been wrong before. So as long as they don't have like abrupt decay. then we should be fine. Or I guess endurance and plow. Okay. Or plow. Actually, quite a few things here. What is it going to be? Maybe they're trying to work out what our last card is. If it could be a Daze, in case they have like the second plow. I don't know. But I mean, in either case, they have to go for it, right? So looks like they had nothing. All right. Not exactly smooth sailing. All right. I feel like doing kind of what I did last game against this type of deck. It might actually be the exact same deck. Let's cut these. Let's cut this. Let's cut a couple of Dazes. I'm not sure about the deep analysis, to be honest. Like, so post-board, they might have stuff like surgical. Pre-board, even, this type of deck will have access to Bojuka Bog. Well, I don't know. I guess we could try. All right. This is not going to work, sadly. So, yeah, gonna keep. Guess I'll bottom the Street Wraith. Really, really hope to not see turn one Deafening Silence here. Just like, because of our only mana source is a Tundra, like, our best route to putting Doomsday on the stack is probably finding like a Dark Ritual and one black mana source rather than 3 black mana sources. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is an argument to keep like the third Wraith over the Pact. But in case we get lucky on like putting Doomsday on the stack, I think having Pact in hand is not the worst either. Okay, Green Suns for 0 means Dried Arbor, so that's fair. Probably means a scary 3-drop is coming next turn. At least that's sort of what they're representing. Well, that's one down. I don't know if I was supposed to just go ahead and cycle that Street Wraith right away. Sylvan Library. That's a scary card as well. Sajiri Step. Giving pro blue. Okay. Let's cycle here. So, would I have forced the Sylvan last turn? Probably. Is it worth the card DA just to shuffle here? To cast Personal Tutor? Maybe. So you gotta imagine something kind of nasty is coming down next turn, right? Let's put away Edge and that one, and let's Personal Tutor for Edge. Unless it's Ponder, that maybe we should have gone for Ponder. I don't know. I don't feel like we're going to be winning this, but you know, stranger things have happened. So our opponent is very likely to be like finding a Wasteland here, I guess. But if they do Wasteland, we could cycle Wraith, cycle Edge. just to get a little bit of pseudo value from that. Okay, so no. So what's this choke? Knight of the Reliquary. So I think I'm supposed to let this resolve, honestly. And then I think I'm going to probably have like this turn and next turn. So let's cycle here and see if we can hit a Dark Ritual. We were unable to do so, which is kind of sad panda, but we got a Ponder. Yeah, I think sadly we're going to be in the market for Dark Ritual and not like another land like that. And I'm not sure I'm supposed to even Edge of Autumn here if they Wasteland us, because I think the extra draw on the combo turn is probably going to be worth more. Okay, so now they got something that they liked. There is a Wasteland. Okay, so they get to double Wasteland us. It's obviously backbreaking. So there's a world where we brainstorm here and then Daze our own Brainstorm to save our land, but I don't know that I think that is going to be productive for us. Yeah, I mean, I think we're down for the count here. They can even they get to Wasteland us next turn as well. I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to edge. Yep. Okay, so I don't think we have an out here. So we draw the Dark Ritual, we consider putting Thassa in the bin, and then we draw like a land, let's say. Then we still only get to Doomsday, and then pass the turn with like a million power on the board. So let's concede. And I think the only sideboard change I do here is I take out the two Pact of Negation and bring back in the two Daze. Also, I think there is really an argument to be had over whether or not it makes any sense to have like the Monastery Mentor, because they just have so many ways to gum up the ground. But on the play, if we get like a hand that's sort of say land petal mentor counter spells, then that's kind of appealing. Then it only takes us to like counter one of their threats and like cantrip once or twice to really pull ahead. This is almost great, but potentially terrible, but I think I'm going to keep. We really don't want them to have wastelands, and we really want Ponder to show us mana. Ideally, like a land and a Dark Ritual would be very, very welcome. But nope. Nope. Brutal. If they go wasteland here, it's okay, so thankfully they don't. I don't think we play out the petal, to be honest. We just make the very weak pass here. Let's see if we get to daze something. Though dazing, of course, is also a little bit... Oh. Wow. I think I play out the LED before I play out the petal. I think the petal is worth more here in case they happen to have something that nukes an artifact. I briefly considered just casting Ideas Unbound. Oh no! Yikes. So what are they up to there? Okay, now I think I actually have to 2-for-1 myself to ponder here. Sad as that is. Yeah. We are really not looking good here. Wow. 7 cards, and they don't have anything below 2 mana to cast? Okay, so we can't pass on the land here, but I don't think we want either the Daze #2 or the Personal Tutor. You know, we were very lucky they didn't have Surgical Extraction for this Underground Sea. So I'm assuming they will have a 3-drop. So we just have to hope they didn't find a 4th land so this Daze is live. Okay, so they found the 4th. What is going on? I'm very, very confused. Okay. I think I'm going to cast Ideas Unbound here. I truly don't understand. Maybe they have like even Mind Sensor and they just really want to get me with yeah, with a Doomsday. So this is our last Underground Sea. So when we go to discard, we discard a Doomsday and probably the Misty Rainforest, and then like I don't know. I'm really scared about that 7-card hand, so I'm kind of into having Teferi, but yeah, Daze seems kind of weak now. Let's play the Underground Sea here and go to discard. Yep. Doomsday and one of the blue cards. Let's go for Teferi. Discard Teferi. And if they don't have more Wastelands, we can go for like Doomsday with Force of Will, Daze backup, and a potential like Pact of Negation for what lies beyond. Okay, sure. So we lose our Ideas Unbound, which is probably the most important bit here. Okay. This is actually aimed at Mind Sensor. I mean, I really don't understand what is in their hand, but I'm sure we will find out. Okay, so we want the Thassa, and probably just Cyclers. Is that really it? So we'll be dropping to we'll be dropping to 8. If we cycle 3 Street Wraiths, so if we do that, we'll drop to 2, and we force dropping to 1. So that life total wise, it's fine. And then we have force pitching, consider, Pact double Daze, which might not be enough with like their 7 card hand, but we'll see. Let's try this. So if they can flash in a threat here, that is a problem. Because it means like we can't cycle 3 times and force and all that stuff. So let's see. I don't believe they have surgical in hand because they would have surgical the, well, they could have surgical the Underground Sea, first of all. And on the turn when they Bejugabogged, there was a Doomsday in our graveyard. And that was last turn. So if they had surgical, it would make no sense for them to bog us and not like surgically remove the Doomsday. Okay, so we passed that hurdle. So a choke here would also be, I mean, not unbeatable in the sense that we have the LED, but obviously that means losing our hand. So, okay, so they're passing. I'm going to clean up. I really don't understand. Or, I mean, I don't, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm kind of worried that I'm going to lose. We shall see. I am almost positive it will involve multiple endurances, but as is, they would need 3, so maybe they don't have that. Okay. We also have to watch for like crop rotation here in case they actually have like Cavern of Souls. Okay. So now it is endurance or bust. Okay. That doesn't do it. Okay. I think our opponent was under the assumption that removing the Oracle with the trigger on the stack would matter. Because if that wasn't the case, then I don't know what was going on with like Drago for that many turns. Discarding a Sylvan Safekeeper rather than playing it out. I don't know. I'm totally confused right now. All right, on the draw for round number 4. I don't think this is a keep. Yeah, I'll keep this. Let's lose one of the Force of Wills. Tundra Brainstorm. Okay, I've seen this. It's some kind of Urza Saga deck, I think. Or wait, am I thinking of something else? Sure, but I think the play here is Ponder to ensure like a land drop on turn 2, which we don't get. Okay, so Ponder cycles into another Ponder for 1 mana. Okay, there's the Saga. There's a Doomsday. Okay, gonna Ponder again. Hope it's not a good like Spell Pierced or something. Okay, so there is a land. That's nice. I don't hate a Duress here. This, so they could sack this to Brainstorm, which that's all right. Okay, so Soul Guide Lantern and LED. I think I'm gonna put Soul Guide Lantern into the graveyard. That draws a card. LED doesn't. So they Brainstorm now. Yeah, I guess, or they Brainstone. I guess that makes sense. So, what will it be? Underground Sea. Interesting. Is this some sort of Bomberman list? No, right? Retrofitter Foundry. Okay. So they are going to be having like a. Oh, wait. That retrofitter costs them a thingy, a construct. Not sure that's going to end up mattering, but it might. I guess they could like sack the LED to make a construct here, but I don't see how that would be worth it. So I'm gonna be. I feel pretty good about this Doomsday, I must admit. So let's put Thassa, put Cavern, put Edge, and then Ideas Unbound. Oops, not LED. So whenever I get to this point in making a video, like recording for like more than an hour, my computer starts to like get really bogged down. So this process here where Magic Online has everything open is pretty rough for it. I think we're gonna go like this. Um, it loses to like a wasteland, but you gotta imagine they don't have wastelands over there. So we draw ideas, cast it, draw edge, cavern, and Thassa, and then we can edge into Pact. So we already have double force here, so they would need like three crucial things here in order to get us. But stranger things have happened. And okay, so they are just what, making a construct? We can't stop that. So now they get to grow this. Wait, did they just get to kill us? I certainly hope not. Pithing Needle, okay. So Pithing Needle can name the edge, but it's not going to matter because we put Pact on the bottom. So there's that. We drop to 2. So let's name Merfolk. Alright, tap your Caracas. Alright, so we saw a couple of blue producing duels, so I think it's reasonable to consider the red blasts. I think Teferi might be reasonable as well. I don't think we want Mentor when we're up against the Saga deck because they just typically end up winning that battle, especially, or at least not when we're on the draw. I think Pact can maybe go. I think probably the Personal Tutors can go. Maybe we sort of step out of contention of being like a really fast Doomsday deck with LED because we're going to be up against forces. Maybe the Dazes aren't great, but I didn't see mana ramp as such. I didn't see like petals and mox opals, but you'd have to kind of expect them to be there though. I don't know. Maybe I'll regret boarding out a Daze or two. Maybe this is also a matchup where like having the like an extra land is not going to be worth it. But yeah, let's keep this because you know it's pretty. It's like gas. They mulligan to 6. So whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card. So this basically gets a card out of our hand either like now with Force of Will or sort of. I think I'm going to let this resolve and, you know, just like let them have their card now. I'm not going to pay. So do we want, like, if we Duress here, yeah, we could Duress or we could try to just get a bit further. Okay. So let's say we like cycle Street Wraith into Street Wraith. Cycle that Street Wraith into Street Wraith into Street Wraith into Thassa. Cast Brainstorm. So Street Wraith gets Thassa. Cast Brainstorm. Draw Cavern. Petal. Oh, I don't know. Like Red Blast? Like the Red Blast is like, or Pyroblast is going to be a blank, so maybe it could be something more productive in case they end up sort of thwarting us here. Like maybe another Street Wraith. So let's see here. We cycle our Street Wraith, draw a Street Wraith. We cycle that Street Wraith, draw Thassa. Our deck is now Cavern, Petal, Thassa, it's like Wraith. We cast Brainstorm off the Petal in hand and draw those 3 cards. We put back Duress and Force of Will, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's give it the old college try, as they say. Let's go Petal, Cavern, Thassa Ray. No, 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 no. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's put, but maybe it will. I can't figure it out. But let's put the one Wraith on the bottom. Then go like this. So if they force here, it's kind of annoying. And if they force this petal, then we lose. And if they don't, I think we just win. But they could have, I guess, Mindbreak Trap or Endurance or like the White Endurance. What's it called? Like I don't remember. Okay, but they didn't have it. Sweet. So we got there. What is it? It's called something with an S. Ah, never mind. It'll come to me. All right, let's try for the last round. All right, last round on the play. No, not gonna keep this. Am going to keep that. And I'm going to bottom the Oracle here because I am going to Doomsday turn 1, and just in case we're up against a discard deck, we don't want to just auto lose. They mulligan to 6 as well. Okay, they mulligan to 6, right? So. Let's see if they have an turn 1 or turn 0 answer. Okay, they didn't. All right, how about this? How about this? We make a pile that has Cavern in case we're up against the Force of Will deck. And it has some Cyclers and Thassa as the remaining cards. So the way I would want this to work is if they tap out for something next turn, we can just we put Cavern on the bottom and then we just cycle, sack, or play Thassa off of our Vulcan or Underground Sea, and with Daze backup. And if they go Island Go, for instance, then it's kind of scary, but we can work with that as well, because then we just wait another turn and get them through the Cavern. That's the plan, at least. Okay, they concede. Interesting. So, I wonder what to go for here. So if this was a Delver deck, or any Force of Will deck, probably, would they concede once we pass them the turn? I mean, if it's like a blue deck that was sitting on like 3 Swords to Plowshares, a Prismatic Ending, and 3 lands, maybe. But you'd have to imagine that you would keep playing just in case, like if you don't have the Force, but you have like cantrips, you can dig for interaction. So if it's not a blue deck, how do we want to board? Maybe like some Teferis as a catch-all. And like 1 Mentor just to sidestep whatever. and then go like this. It's a little bit frustrating if they then turn out to be a blue deck, because then we just sided out 3 discard spells. But yeah, so be it. All right. Well, I mean, this is a pretty appealing hand, regardless of the opposition. So let's see. Opponent keeps. Oh, it's Elves. Okay. Now I don't really feel one way or the other about the sideboard plan here. So I think we let this resolve, even though, like, as soon as Allosaurus Retardo, no, sorry, that's very inappropriate, but as soon as Allosaurus Shepherd hits the battlefield, we no longer have any, these cards cease to have text. Yeah. Maybe I should have drawn the Ponder instead of the Daze. I'm going to be drawing Daze next turn. That was a punt. Okay. Okay, so at least they're not, like, going for the alpha swing here on turn 2. Another Sentinel. This means that a Heritage Druid just means infinite mana. Okay, I mean, I feel pretty good about this then. We have, like, they didn't play a land. We get to cast Doomsday here. My guess is that they've kept on the back of Endurance. And so, you know what I know is a thing is Elves, like, starting to play a crop rotation package in a single wasteland. So in order to not, like, get blown out by that, because we have the Ideas Unbound in hand. So let's grab some petals. So we can draw a petal, and we can cast Ideas Unbound regardless of what happens next turn, I would say. And then we get to Thassa, and I guess can edge for the last card. So we just need to not die next turn, basically, right? That should be possible. I'll go like this. No! Oh wait, that doesn't matter. But I meant to put the the petal on top, not the Edge of Autumn. I guess they could be sitting on, like, Surgical Extraction here. If they are, I probably have to Daze that. You know, if they give me the shot, they could, like, untap and then Surgical on their turn. So I guess, like, Shepherd and Cradle would be a thing. Okay. So I mean, if they go, like, double Endurance here, Visionary. Seriously? Is this how it's just gonna end? Because I mean, what can they do now? They already made their land drop. And now my Dazes are live. Now I don't see us losing this. Okay. So I guess, like, multiple Mindbreak traps, and, like, if they were to have Endurance, triple Mindbreak trap, that gets us. But you know, if they have that, power to them. And the last card in our deck is a Petal as well, which we can cycle into at our leisure with the Edge of Autumn. But let's see. Actually, you know, we can't if we wanted to double Daze, but yeah. maybe with that in mind, like I was at 8 life and I chose to put Edge instead of Street Wraith as the cycler, thinking that my life total might end up mattering. But I don't think it'll ever work like that versus Elves, right? They had 4 power on the board, so either they would have like 10 plus, or they would have the 4. It's not like they would have 6 or 7, right? So maybe I need to be more cognizant of the fact that the sort of anti synergy between Daze and Edge of Autumn here, and only having the 2 lands. But in any case, it did not matter. Wow, okay, well, it felt good to play some Legacy. I'm actually going for a paper tournament this weekend, and the first one in since before Corona, so I'm pretty excited. And I'll be playing this list, I think. This video probably won't be out until after then, but we'll see. Maybe I'll speed things up and do it before. But anyways, I want to thank you very much for sticking around, watching it till the end, or for however long you did. Yeah, and I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.